Hi everybody, it's Miss Nolan.
And Miss Earl.
We are going to, in this video, explore the different ways that you can support your child with phonics at home.
And we'll detail the phonics journey that they'll take during their time at Begbrook.
So what is phonics? Phonics is the early reading strategy that we use at Begbrook. It explores the relationship between how spoken sounds, which we call phonemes, are represented in written form, which we call graphemes. For example, the phoneme A is represented with this grapheme. At Begbrook, we use this image to illustrate how word reading and language comprehension together create a fluent reader. Word reading refers to all of the skills that we practice in a phonics lesson.
Blending is one of the skills that we teach the children in our phonics lesson. That is the skill of being able to read the sounds and then put them together to read the full word. This word here would read p, at, and the sounds blended together would read the word pat. Segmenting is another skill we teach the children in phonics. That refers to hearing a word and splitting it up into the individual sounds. For example, here the children would segment s, to write the word sun.
The phonics journey is made up of 6 phases, and every child's journey through the phases will look different. Many of the ways that you can support your child at home are applicable to all of the phonics phases.
So phase 1 is the foundation of phonics, which brings in the speaking and listening skills. It's introduced in nursery and is ongoing through the start of reception. In phase 1, the children learn to distinguish between different sounds. For example, hearing the sound of a car horn and being able to identify that sound. They become familiar with rhythm, rhyme and alliteration, and they get ready to begin developing their oral blending and segmenting skills.
Phase 2 is introduced in reception and will be the first time that the children see single sounds and 4 digraphs. A digraph is where 2 letters make 1 sound. Children will start to segment and blend words using these sounds, for example, sun and pack, and they will also learn the tricky words I, no, go, the, to and into.
When the children are secure on the previous sounds taught, phase 3 is introduced in reception. Phase 3 is made up of single sounds, digraphs and trigraphs. A trigraph is 3 letters making 1 sound. The children will learn to segment and blend words using these sounds, for example, high and chain. And they'll be introduced to the tricky words he, she, me, we, be, my, by, all, are, her, you, they and was. They will be able to read and write those words.
Phase 4 is introduced in Year 1 and involves consolidation of Phase 2 and 3 sounds. No new sounds are introduced, but the children are exposed to consonant blends, for example, and st. They also encounter the tricky words some, come, there, like, said, what, were, little, have, so, one, out, do and when.
Phase 5 is introduced in Year 1. It introduces alternative graphemes, so different ways of writing sounds that we've already learnt. It also introduces split digraphs. A split digraph is a digraph that's separated by 1 or 2 consonants. For example, the word lie has the I digraph in it. The word like has the split digraph I sound, which is separated by the k. We're also introduced to the tricky words oh, Mrs, people, there, called, Mr, looked, asked and could.
Sound buttons is a strategy that we use at Begbrook throughout phases 2 to 5, and it helps children identify the sounds in a word. A single sound, such as s, is marked with a dot. A digraph or a trigraph, such as ch, is marked with a dash. And a split digraph, such as I, is marked by, sometimes we call it a rainbow or a bridge.
Now phase 6 is introduced in Year 2 and is ongoing. It introduces spelling patterns, prefixes and suffixes, but no new sounds.
Where your child is on their phonics journey will determine the reading books that they are taking home. They will take a phonetically decodable book until they are secure with their phonics and ready to read fluently.
The Year 1 Phonics Screener is a statutory assessment for Year 1 children. It contains 40 words, 20 real words and 20 alien words. The words the children read contain sounds from phases 2 to 5. They start off simple and they increase in complexity as the screener goes on. The Year 1 children will take this screener in Term 6. The children that were in Year 1 last year, who unfortunately weren't able to complete the screener, will do the screener in Year 2, Term 2 this year.
In preparation for the screener, we teach the children to follow these steps in decoding a word. Step 1. Is it a real or an alien word? For example, a child might say, I can see an alien, so I know it's an alien word, and it doesn't have a meaning. Step 2. What digraphs, trigraphs, or split digraphs can you see? So for this word, I can see the split digraph O. Step 3. What other sounds can you see? I can see S, P, L, and T. Step 4 is to say all the sounds in order. S, P, L, O, T. Step 5 is to blend the sounds together to say the word splote.
Step 1. Is it a real or an alien word? Well, I can't see an alien, so I know it's a real word, and it has to have a meaning. Step 2. What digraphs, trigraphs, or split digraphs can you see? I can see the digraphs ch, ah, and ng. Step 3. What other sounds can you see? I can see and I. Step 4. Say all the sounds in order. Ch, ah, I, ng. Step 5. Blend the sounds together to say the word. Ch, ah, I, ng. Charming.
Here's an example of a screener from 2015. You can see the increase in complexity for words like fip, pon, hab and olb, all the way to more complex two-syllable words like river, diving, beehive and midnight.
So, what can you do to support your child at home? One of the main things the children tend to need to practice is phoneme-grapheme correspondence, so seeing the grapheme written down and being able to tell you which sound it is. There are lots of exciting resources that the children can use to do this. ICT Games is a brilliant website which has lots of phonics games, as is Phonics Play, and the children really enjoy using those in school. You'll find lots of great ideas on the Phonics Family Instagram, and we'd recommend trying to weave your child's interest into the practice you're doing at home. For example, if your child loves to be outdoors, writing some sounds in chalk outside. If your child likes to play with cars or construction, hiding sounds in some of the things they're going to come across every day.
It's also really important that you support your child in developing their blending skills. And again, this can be as sparkly and creative as you want to make it. So we've already spoken about sound buttons as a strategy, but oral blending could also be really helpful. As simple as, can you please pass me your k up, to get the children used to putting sounds together to make words.
So, to clarify, use these questions to navigate how to best support your child. What sounds does your child need to know? Which sounds are they currently finding tricky? Is your child able to blend and segment words containing sounds from their current phase? Can they read and write their common exception words? It's really important to practice little and often. Think about where and when will the practice be best. And build in ways to practice oral blending and spelling. And most importantly, make it sparkle. It shouldn't be a chore for you or for the children.
Now, here is a glossary of terms for you to refer back to. We're aware that it's a subject of quite a lot of technical vocab, so we hope this helps. A phoneme is a sound in spoken form, and a grapheme is a sound in written form. Phoneme-grapheme correspondence refers to knowing which written sound matches a spoken sound. A digraph is a grapheme where one sound is represented by two letters. A trigraph is a grapheme where one sound is represented by 3 letters. A split digraph is where a digraph is split by a consonant. We sometimes call this a magic E.
Blending, putting sounds together to make a word. Segmenting, pulling words apart into their individual sounds. Decoding, using the knowledge of sounds to read a word. Phonetically decodable, a word that can be read using phonics. Common exception words or tricky words, words that cannot be decoded using phonics.
Thank you so much for watching. We hope that some of that was useful for you. If you have any questions about any of this, please don't hesitate to get in touch with either of us.
Email the Begbrook info box for the attention of Miss Molam or Miss L if you have any questions relating to this presentation specifically, or if you have any questions about where your child is in their phonics, please speak to your child's class teacher or the year group lead.